Hello, guys. We are ready to lock and load, and I'm going to give you something to remember. Yeah, something to believe in. Really, something to believe in. Vlad is gonna get underway. We're here, lads. We're here. Some are saying this might not be the greatest UFC event in the world, which to some point I agree, but we are going to have RSFC too, so this week I'm gonna cover two events as we are gonna get underway right now. And when it comes to the UFC event, I just have to see the schedule. Okay, let me just check out the schedule for this upcoming UFC. Maybe not the greatest event in the world. Alright, Juan Camilo Ronderos versus Clayton Carpenter. Um, I've got Carpenter to win. Carpenter inside the distance. Or Carpenter versus or Carpenter versus Ronderos, no distance. Prop Carpenter to win round 2. Then the next fight is pretty much kind of harder to pick as AJ Fletcher meets Temba Gorimbo. I've got fight starts round 3. Fletcher versus Gorimbo. Fight starts round 3. Got Fletcher side call. Yeah, side call is going to be Fletcher. Fletcher is minus 255. I'm going to have Fletcher via decision. That is my side pick. Fletcher decision. Or Fletcher versus Gorimbo. Fight ends around. Fight goes over 2.5. I believe this is going to be a close contest, and I believe this one going to be closely contested. Nazim Sadiko versus Ivan Elder. I'll be honest, not a fan of either of those two. A limited knowledge, but Sadiko a favorite, but I believe Elder is heavily underestimated. What the heck? Fight goes to decision. I have a feeling Sadikov versus Elder fight goes the distance. Sadikov to win. Sadikov decision. I've got a feeling that Sadikov is going to win via decision. Then the next fight is going to be between Vincent Prue and Philip Lins. Gonna go with fight not going the distance. Vincent Prue is at the end of his career, so no distance. Saint Prue versus Lins, no distance. Lins to win, minus 215. Lins KO, TKO. Vince is just too old for these fancy things, and I have a limited belief in him. I don't believe much in his potential victories and his potential route to a title, his potential route to a victory. I think that dream is over. Vincent Prue is nearly 40, and that would be it for that fight. Jamal Emmers versus Hussein Ashkabov. As much as I hate to say this, I really hate to say this, but I see Ashkabov winning. Ashkabov to win, minus 125. Ashkabov decision. I hate to say it, I want Emmers to win. Big fan of his, but I just think Ashkabov is having great control time, great top control. I really think he can dominate, especially from some positions here. And unfortunately, I don't see Emmers winning. So, fan of Emmers, but not gonna happen. Lina Landsberg versus Mayra Bueno Silva. Lina Landsberg versus Mayra Bueno Silva is interesting fight. Not going the distance. Oof. Silva versus Landsberg, no distance, plus 100. Silva to win. Silva to win round 3. I didn't bet on many fights here. I only bet actually on 2 fights, and I am going to reveal you my bets for this upcoming fight card. I'm going to reveal you my bets. Now the next one is going to be Jim Miller versus Alexander Hernandez, and this is the clash of two vets, a real clash of two vets. Jim Miller, submission specialist. Alexander Hernandez has some striking skills, so also not going the distance sounds like a great call to me. Now here I have a slight dilemma. No distance. No distance Miller versus Hernandez. Miller submission or Hernandez KO TKO. This is pretty much it I've got when it comes to the preliminary card. Preliminary card until minute 7, main card until minute, then Chit Chat. Okay. The next fight is going to be between Marcin Prachny and William Knight. Arguably the trickiest fight on the card. I don't know which version of Marcin Prachny is going to appear. Honestly, got no idea. We might see the best version, we might see the worst version, but Prachnio versus Knight, I'm gonna risk this time. Prachnio to win. This is risky call. Prachnio versus Knight, not going the distance. Risky call Prachnio to win round 3, but Prachnio is one of the most unpredictable guys on the whole roster. And when somebody asks me, Vlad, can you pick Marcin Prachnio in a fight, or can you please give a shot to Marcin Prachnio in a fight? I would just say, listen, guys, Prachnio is one of the most unpredictable guys who have ever participated in combat. So that's just the way it is. And then we got Jamal Polks versus Josh Parisyan. Also fight not going the distance. No distance Polks versus Parisyan. Polks to win. Polks KO TKO. Polks KO TKO round 3. No, round 2. I'm actually gonna go Polks KO TKO round 2. I believe Parisyan's chin is pretty much respectable, and I have a feeling this fight might actually be one-sided demolition magician. I just have that kind of a feeling. The next fight is going to be between Jordan Wright and Zach Pauga. This is a perfect candidate for not going the distance, as we have one-round fighter against a fighter who cuts weight. So Wright versus Pauga. Wright versus Pauga, not going the distance. Minus 500. Wright KO TKO round 1, or Pauga KO TKO round 2. Somebody goes down in this fight, one way or another. Somebody is gonna go down in this fight. So I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that you are going to see that kind of the outcome in this potential fight. And the next fight is going to be Andrade versus Blanchfield. Andrade versus Blanchfield, no distance. I've got Andrade KO TKO or Blanchfield submission. Now I'm going to make you some posts so you can vote, and I'm going to expose you my round robins too. On this fight card, I only have two bets. Carpenter to win and no distance Jessica versus Erin. I only have two bets. So right now I'm going to make you two community posts, and we are going to see how are you gonna react to them? Just few seconds to make those community posts. Uh, Most confident UFC Vegas 69 pick. Let me see. No. Andrade, Carpenter. Who else? Fletcher. Silva. Other comments. Okay, you have one post to vote, and I'm going to let you vote on another underdog. Most promising UFC Vegas 69 underdog. Who could be the most promising Vegas underdog? Let me see. Gorimbo, Elder, Blanchfield, Wright. Wright is the underdog, right? Other comments. Alright, other comments. So you have two polls to vote. I enabled you 2 polls to vote. If you want to vote, you can do it right away. And I'm gonna present my round robin right now, just to get a hold of it. Yeah, you can vote if you want to. All right. Yeah, you can vote if you want to. Also, I tried to pinpoint to some other facts from this, but now I need to make you a round robin. I don't know. I would risk with right. I don't know why I would risk with right. Round robin. Right. Last 2, 3. Oh, I don't know, man. It's his turn to win. He's a one-punch knockout artist, right? Miller. Only right and Miller. Miller plus 195, Elder plus 145. That could be a nice piece of a round robin and a nice round robin play. And overall, these should be my calls for this upcoming card. So please, if you have questions, if you want chit chat, I'll be live for 1 hour. Today been a very rocky day. I was working like a dog, so I decided to spend evening or morning, whatever, with my die-hard fans, and let's enjoy together. We are defo going to enjoy together, and I like enjoying with my die-hard fans. That is the nicest thing, and the sweetest thing that could happen to me. The number of my followers is growing. All right, it's growing. It's growing slowly, but it's growing, and I'm happy to be the part of this amazing community. I'm really happy to be the part of this amazing community, stacked with many knowledgeable people. Community is growing slowly, but it's growing. It is reaching the new heights. My community, it's really much reaching the new heights, and I can't hide how grateful actually I am to you for letting me reach new heights. That only speaks about you, my lovely fans. That only speaks that I have the greatest fans in the world, and that controversial video clips are actually bringing views. But views have never been the instructional point of my channel, because the first thing that I've ever wanted in my life was a connection with fans. a connection. A connection was my number one. Like I wanted to connect myself with the fans, and I really wanted to make some influence. I really wanted to leave an undeletable trail. And right now, I told you, I explained you, I recently blocked like 10 people, like 10 Makachev's fans, because they are yawning like, oh no, it was not a robbery. Oh, it was not a robbery. Oh, you hate Russians, you hate Muslims. That's not true. I love everybody. I'm just extremely objective, and that's not something you can understand. That is not something you can understand because I'm the guy who loves the whole world. That's me. I'm the guy who loves whole world, and in my world, there's no place for such things. And anybody who says that I hate these or those instantly gets blocked. So every single troll who does that will instantly get blocked without warning. So just to know, maybe people going to say that I'm a bit strict, but anybody who starts like some kind of nationalistic ideology or some kind of religious ideology, that is not going to work in my chat. That is simply not nor in the comments. That is not going to work because I don't give a damn who comes from which part of the world. We are all MMA fans, and that's one and only thing that matters. That is one and only thing that matters. As soon as I see those comments, I'm instantly banning people because I don't need such things in my life. I really, really don't need such things in my life. I need positivity. I need grinding. I need battling. I need people who want to battle it out. I need people who are going to fight until the last dying breath. That's what I need in my life. And I don't need people who are going to cry and constantly ask and look for excuses. Those people are unnecessary part of my life, and those people will be removed from my life. So toxicity is not going to work. Simply, that's not me. That's not me. I mean, I understand that we have different opinions. I understand that we disagree each other, which is normal. I'm happy to have a community who expresses its own opinion. This is always, always amazing. But I'm telling you, Makhachev's, Khabib's, and Chimaev's fans are the plague of the MMA community. And I'm not blaming fighters, Those fighters, they are doing a great job. They are winning titles, etc. But their fan base, it's brutally bad. It's brutally bad. Like, when people were saying in the first place, like, MMA Guru has the most toxic fan base. Not true, man. MMA Guru has the most amazing fan base. Not true. He has the most amazing fan base. His fan base is made of people who know about MMA and who like to exchange words, who like to exchange talks, who like to talk with you. His fan base is actually made of people who are ready to to talk about constructive criticism. Rigo is live right now for the first time. Really? That is awesome, my friend. That is really awesome. I know who is Rigo. That is awesome. I've heard of Rigo. So I just want to say that I only, believe it or not, Cyrus, I only have two bets for this fight card. Believe it or not, only two bets. I bet on Carpenter to win, and I bet on Andrade versus Blanchfield no distance. Only two bets for this card. Believe it or not, only two. Not normal for me. I know it's strange, but some people are even protesting, saying that they don't even plan to bet on this card, which is like, when I've heard that, I was like, what the heck? I think Blankfield is a lock. I played no distance because it's either going to be Blankfield submission or Andrade KO TKO. But if Blankfield drags her to the ground, submission is coming our way. I can feel the submission coming. Can Blankfield be a lock? Yes, why not? I don't even know who is fighting except the main event. Jordan Wright versus Zach Pauga. I should have bet the fight not going the distance on that one, but I just didn't want to. It's gonna be same as Molly fight. I'm not emotionally connected to Jordan Wright. I mean, I am, but I am in a negative manner. I'm not the greatest fan of Jordan Wright, because I just don't know. He's too open. He has all the heart of this world, but I just don't like watching his fights. And now I'm also scared to bet on that fight because he's cruising 20 pounds not, and it kind of scares the shit out of me. Yesterday I sent an email to the sponsor you offer. Is that the guy with curly hair? I think he has curly hair. He fought at 185. He was knocked out by Dushko Todorovic in his last fight. And he is fighting Zach Pauga, and Zach Pauga transitions from heavyweight to light heavyweight. So that guy is cruising 60 pounds south. And imagine like two guys who are changing weight classes. I don't know many things about both of them, so that's one of the reasons to skip that fight. Like yesterday and today, I was working literally the whole day. Oh yes, he gets knocked out a lot, or he knocks you out. There are only two options when you're fighting that guy. Only two options. Only two options when you're fighting that guy. So you know there are only two options when you're fighting that guy. Damn, Tyler Santos versus Blankfield would have been better. Well, Tyler is out of the fight, my friend. You know that, yes, it was cancelled. It was cancelled. You have a whole report. I'm gonna send you. I was writing that report if you wanna read. Just to see whether the website is up. It is. There you go. Marlon and Sandhagen bumped to another card or moved to another card. There you go. I was writing that article. Yeah, that's the article I wrote. Tyler Santos is out. Sorry to say that. I'll bookmark the site. nifights.com. Yeah, I'm writing like 4 or 5 articles per week. I'm not covering every single news though. Just big news and basic streaming options, pressers, veins, the basic stuff. The basic stuff and the basic drill. Yeah, just basic stuff and the basic drill. Website is mostly based around boxing. I've got no idea. The website owner, he told me that he grew in Massachusetts, I think. Yeah, he told me he grew up in Massachusetts, I believe. Hold on, I'm gonna check out what he wrote to me. Is it Boston? I live in Brooklyn, but I grew up in Massachusetts. That's what he wrote to me. I live in Brooklyn, but I grew up in Massachusetts. So I believe Brooklyn is a part of NI, right? Or not? Yeah, Massachusetts is Boston, and Brooklyn is the part of NI, right? I think Brooklyn is a part of NI. Brooklyn is a suburb of New York. Okay, then I was right. I mean, you are that part of the world is closer to you than to me. So yeah, he told me I live in Brooklyn at the moment, but I grew up in Massachusetts. So like, yeah, probably he is probably somewhere from Boston area, or I don't know any other city in Massachusetts outside of Boston. I only know Boston in Massachusetts. New York is very confusing. There's like 5 cities in one big city, New York. They have Manhattan, they have Staten Island, Queens, Brooklyn, and which else? Right, Manhattan, Staten Island, Queens, Brooklyn, and Long Island. And yeah, Long Island. And I think Manhattan is like in the middle, right? Manhattan is like a city center. Like Wall Street and all the banks are in Manhattan, right? Me too, man. I live in Belgrade with a population of 2 million, and many times I wanted to shoot myself when I was living in the center of Belgrade. Concrete jungle, I hate big cities. Me too. But thanks God, I moved 7 years ago. I moved to the. Oh, hello, Kevin. Uh, 7 years ago, I moved to to the rural part of Belgrade. I have forest around. My city is 160,000. Whoa, man, it's also big. But which city are you from? 16000. Which city are you from? Which is that city? Perfect size. That's also big. But man, I would also like in Belgrade when I was Sudbury, Ontario. Ah, Ontario is fine. But I wanted to tell you that when I was living in the center of Belgrade, like center, I literally wanted to shoot myself every single day. I would not live anywhere above 5k thousand. Me neither, my friend. Me neither. But I'm living in a rural part of Belgrade because I have forests surrounding me. This is like the area of Belgrade where nobody wants to be. People hate forest, and I'm surrounded by forest. And that is something that pretty much inspires me. I'm surrounded by forest, and that is amazing for me. I like the fact that I'm surrounded by forest. So living in rural part of Belgrade, it's pretty much okay to me. But imagine not living in the rural part of Belgrade. I wouldn't be able to endure, if you know what I mean. It would have been mission impossible for me in the first place. It would have really been mission impossible to me in the first place. It is not actually a big city because it's very spread out. Like New York, there are other parts of Sudbury that are called different names, but are all a part of Greater Sudbury. So you say by size, city is pretty much big by size, right? You mean by square miles? It's very huge by square miles, right? It lays on a huge number of square miles, right? So you want to say the city is pretty much wide? Ah, that's awesome. Then I could live there. Then it wouldn't be a problem for me to live there. If that's the case, then that it shouldn't be a problem. Like Canada is huge, so they can do that. Well, if it's like a city on a huge population on a huge area, that's okay. I'm perfectly fine with that. It's not like watching you like you're having 12 heads, if you know what I mean. It's like it's a perfect place to live. If it's like a very wide city, if it's a wide city, then it's fine. If Canada is huge, I'm pretty much happy to say that. I'm pretty much, that's fine to me. My dad, he lives in a city of 70K, 70,000 people. That's where my dad lives, and it's already too big for me, honestly. It's already too big because he's in the center. And I'm like, Dad, do you really have to live in the center? And he's like, I don't want to move. I'm like, come on, man. And my dad is saying, sorry, Vlad, I live here for 50 years. I'm like, okay, way to go, man. Like, literally, way to go. You live in the city center for 50 years. Yeah, it's different if you're downtown. Downtown is big shit, my friend. I live downtown. In Belgrade, I live downtown, and I can tell you, it's a big shit. Like, rural area rocks. Rural area is the best place to be. Rent must have been high, very high. Right now, I have my own condo, thanks God, but rent has been pretty much high in downtown. In downtown, rent was extremely high, like in downtown. But in a rural area, even condos are not that expensive because it's rural. People don't want to live in rural area. I don't know why, but they don't want to do it. They are not interested in living in a rural area. For some reason, they don't want to do it. And I'm like, all right, let's go. I want to live in rural area. Rural area is the best. Because imagine, rent downtown is 3 times more expensive than rent in a rural area of Belgrade. Imagine that. 3 times up. Multiply by 3. And this is no joke, I'm dead ass. Downtown is like multiply with number 3. And rural area is like very affordable. First of all, it's very affordable. Second, air is better. Air quality is better because I have massive pollution problem. I have pollution problem on Cochin. Greetings, guys. Follow the channel for a few weeks. I like the analytics. Hello, the draft. Thank you, man. And I just wanted to say, I really don't like. I used to live downtown until 7 years ago, and I can tell you, I'm not a downtown guy. I'm not a downtown guy. No way. So Cyrus knows what am I talking about. Yeah, I'm trying to be pretty much a good analyst as much as I can, of course. I'm trying as much as I can, so if I help somebody, I'm always grateful. Last week was awesome. Modestus won, and I had so many units on him, but this week I only have 2 bets. So this card pretty much hard. That is true. That is true. It exploded. Yeah, rent exploded. That is true. Prices of rents exploded, and because not only like from Russia, they are coming from Ukraine, they are coming from many other areas of the world. Not only Russia, they are also coming from Ukraine, they are coming from Belarus, they are coming from India, from Pakistan, Bangladesh. The same thing happened in Turkey and Georgia. Yeah, yeah. And also they are not only coming from Russia, they are coming from like 5 or 6 states. They are coming to Serbia now because Serbia is, well, it's an okay place for living now. I can't criticize it. I'm actually a fan right now. It's a nice place to live. Right now, it's a solid place to live, so I can't criticize it now. Doesn't look too bad. A lot of immigrants in Canada. I understand, man. Everybody wants to be a part of the Western world. Lots of immigrants here too. I mean, people are coming from every single area of the world. Do you think Pauga right? I have the fight not going the distance for Pauga, right? I expect a knockout coming. That's how I see that fight. I didn't pick a side because I'm scared. No, it will not go the distance. I'm scared to pick a side because Wright is a 1 round fighter, but he transitions to 205. So he cruises 20 pounds not. We've got a guy who cruises 60 pounds south and cuts from heavyweight to light heavyweight, Zach Pauga. And Pauga is excellent with counters. Wright is gonna swing wildly, so the only thing that makes sense to me is not going the distance in that fight. But I don't know, I would risk with Wright, like for a small amount of money, but I didn't bet on that fight. I only bet on Erin Blanchfield versus Jessica Andrade not going the distance, and I bet on Clayton Carpenter to win. So I only have two. I only have 2 picks. I only have 2 bets so far. Other than that, I just have predictions. Like on last card, I was super sure about Modestus winning, and I was extremely unsure about Justin Tafa winning. And Tafa won like fair and square. Then Yair Rodriguez versus Emmet, I bet over 2.5, and Yair locked him into a triangle choke, like in the second round, which was perfectly, not gonna say unexpected, but surprising, yes, surprising to some point. But it was a great match. I really enjoyed every single second of it. No, MMA, literal MMA is life, man. It's life. No, I actually live in Serbia. I'm Bulgarian by ethnicity, but I live in Serbia, Europe. Yair has improved a lot. Yes, yes, that's true. I live in Europe. Those body kicks handicapped Emmett. Not only body kicks, movement, distance, feel of the fight, footwork, angling, everything. Turned him into Guru. Guru! uh, yeah, with a lack of movement. With a lack of movement, he turned him into Guru. Man, I was so much shocked because he was constantly moving. He was not fighting on the back foot. Like, Yair normally fights on the back foot, and he didn't fight on back foot back then in that fight. It was like, it was a pressure fighting from Yair, and I was like, what the heck? We're seeing a Taekwondo black belt taking part in a pressure fight. Kicks to punches. Yeah, kicks to punches. Kicks to punches were brutal, my friend. I've never seen such a great combat. I've never seen such a great combat on the end of Yair, aside of his fight with Korean Zombie. I mean, I'm just saying aside of his fight with Korean Zombie. If we're gonna discuss his fight with Korean Zombie, you remember that fight. That was the best fight of Yair Rodriguez that has ever happened. But after that, Josh Emmett performance is the best fight of Yair Rodriguez, second best, according to my mind. But that fight with Korean Zombie was the maybe even the greatest featherweight fight I've ever witnessed. It was the best finish in UFC history. Yeah, like he attacks. See, it's easy. It's actually that finish is not hard when somebody is rushing towards you. Just duck under, bang. Easy. Literally last second goat moment, and he was down on the scorecards. He was losing 3-1. Do you remember that he was losing that fight with a score of a 3-1? He was down on the scorecard in the last minute. But this is the best. Could it be a bet in your opinion, Paul? Yes, absolutely yes. I agree. The only thing that makes sense in Pau right could be inside the distance. That is one and only thing that makes sense to me. Could be a bet, yes. That's why Yair is one of my favorite fighters. He is my favorite featherweight, but I don't see him beating Volk, unfortunately. Sadly. He got hit with 2 bombs that gave me a heart attack. He had 500 on him. Luckily, luckily, you're still in my chat, so since you're still in my chat, everything went well, Sergio. Body kicks. Oh yeah, Taekwondo black belt. Yeah, Taekwondo black belt. That's awesome, man. That's just fucking awesome. Question mark KO on Volk. I want to see Volk losing. I want to see Volkanovski losing to Yair, despite I'm a big fan of Volkanovski. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a very, very, very big fan of Volkanovski, but I want to see him losing to Yair. Sadly, I don't see it happening. If Islam can head kick him, Yair will definitely. What do you think about Makhachev's potential cheating accusations? Do you have some stance on that? The MMA guru exposed a nice theory. We've seen a pretty much nice conspiracy theory of the MMA guru, but I believe MMA guru. I believe it makes sense. Everything MMA guru said makes sense to me in the first place. He's a cheating dog. The injection mark. Oh yeah, the syringe mark. Project IGI. Syringing blood. Yeah, the injection mark, man. The injection mark. Just like the scorecards were inside job. Of course, they were a fucking inside job. If it was a draw, I say Volk won round 1 100%. Round 5 was 10-8. Round 2 was super close. I'm not getting angry if somebody gives it to, to Makachev, but I gave it to Volkanovski. Round 3 Makachev, round 4 Makachev, fair and square, super clean. 49-46. Oh yeah, it is. It's a dog shit, man, like 49-46. Makes no sense. What kind of referee was that? Hey, my fan of the year, how are you doing? Believe it or not, Kevin, I only bet on Clayton Carpenter to win, and I bet on Erin Blanchfield versus Jessica Andrade. The fight will not go the distance. So, believe it or not, I only have two bets. Only two on the, for this fight card. Yeah, not the greatest card in the world, though. Was thinking betting Andrade, but she had some losses that were bad. Yes, she had some pretty nasty bad losses, and I agree to some point that betting Andrade could be a very, very, very risky play. How you doing? Hey, Jeremiah, how you doing, man? You were right with your boy Bukauskas pull through. Yeah, Modestas Bukauskas won, man. Still thought Pedro had it, though. Bukauskas won 2 rounds. 30-27, I disagree. Do you remember? You were in the chat. My scoring was 29-28 Buka. Do you remember? I scored the 29-28 Buka. And judges scored 30-27 Buka, which I heavily disagree. 29-28 Buka, 29-28 Buka. 29-28 Buka, I agree. That's how I scored the fight. But 30-27 was... Thought it would have been reversed for Pedro, but good call. Well, with these judges, you never know. They robbed Tukugov, they robbed Volkanovski, so horrible judging happens all day, and I understand why people are suspicious. I would be suspicious too. I'm not blaming you. I don't want you to think that I'm blaming you. I'm not blaming you. I'm also suspicious. I'm also suspicious because I'm scared, man. I'm actually very much scared because some things are just not meant to be. Yeah, some things are just not meant to be, if you know what I mean by that. Or I like to say, some things are just bullshit. Like the case of Robin Zubeira to Kugo. And then they wanna like make up for that and they rob Volkanovski. Oh, amazing. Nice hit, Jeremiah. I was thinking about it but couldn't pull the trigger. Yeah, great thinking by Jeremiah, really. Yeah, my boy Buka won. Yeah, but 49-46 in Makachev versus Volkanovski. That judge was rolling spliffs all night. Ooh, look at those heavy balloons. Good shit. What is this fight? This is some good shit. I see 2 walks. That's how that judge looked like. Yeah. He was probably seeing 2 Volkanovskis or 2 Makachevs. Oh, I know, I feel the same way. I studied Ashkabov against Emers. Emers seems like he hasn't fought competition yet. Guys hate to say that, but I think Ashkabov wins. Everybody on Fletcher after 2 losses against dangerous fighter. Vlad loves to smoke. Of course, Vlad loves to smoke weed. Only weed, man. I hate cigars though, only weed. But Kev, I learned that from you. I mean, it's your influence. You should be proud of me. It's your influence, man. Vlad 420, homegrown. No, it's not homegrown. Sigma Vlad. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 420 Kev and 420 Vlad. Man, that's a good shit. But I'm not high. Though I'm not high right now. But maybe when my leg recovers, I will probably be. Right now, I'm having a very nasty leg injury, so When my leg recovers, I'm probably gonna get high. I have to get high soon, man. Really, I need it. But yeah, I like that. It's actually fun. No, it's. But when I get high, I'm only laughing and I'm constantly sleepy. I'm like sleepy 24/7 and I'm constantly laughing. You make my day, Vlad. Oh, thank you, Kev. You make my day too, my friend. How do you feel about Grimbo's reach against Fletcher? He doesn't seem like a crazy striker. I actually think that fight has the potential to go all the way. I have a fight starts round 3. I think Gorimbo might have the chance to fight long range, but he's not the greatest striker in the world, so kinda a bit unknown fight for me. Who isn't the wall in the picture? My aunt. I need to get high too, but the prices of weed are too high. You are right about that. Prices of weed are pretty much too high. Extremely high, I would like to say. But when I'm high, I'm only laughing and I'm extremely sleepy. So I wouldn't be able to stream. I would be like, that's how I would look like if I'm high. I would be like this. I would probably crumble in the middle of the stream. My guy, this weekend was weird. My Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Oh, congrats on that, Justin. Oh, you didn't brag about that, man. I'm so glad Chiefs won. You didn't brag, man. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you won, man. Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. I know Chiefs won Super Bowl, but I know you are a fan of Chiefs too. You mentioned me that. That's awesome, man. Kansas City Chiefs. So glad they won, man. So how did your other NFL bets go, Justin? I mean, I'm not betting on NFL though, but how did it go? I'm just curious. I know you're a big fan of that. Right, I'm glad we could pull it off. It was a good game. Did you hear about what's going on with the Islam accusations? Well, I think USADA is going to research as Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker actually alluded that I called 9 or 10 out of 13, I think. I had 10 out of 13 too. I think USADA is going to research because after the vein, there is a syringe mark or injection mark here that Islam Akachev got medical assistance to rehydrate. And according to USADA law from 2016, you know very well that it's prohibited. And those accusations are pretty much serious. And I assume USADA is going to investigate, but Islam Akachev's team is saying that nothing happened. They are rejecting the claims and they are saying it's funny. They're calling it fake accusations. So we're about to see. I hope USADA is going to research. But I believe he was cheating. He was cutting too many pounds and he received medical aid. There is a syringe mark on his body. There is like injection mark here. Take a look at the photos. There is injection mark here. So obvious. So obvious that he did something. How not could he have syringe marks on his body? I saw that. That's what I think too. I'll tell you what I think. Something into the vein, man. According to USADA law from 2016, everybody in this chat knows it's prohibited. So, if something is prohibited, you mustn't do it. I wonder what this will do to the household and Khabib's reputation now. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I have a strong feeling that that guy was cheating. And they are saying that Dagestanis are not cheaters. And what now? What if USADA finds out that he was cheating? What's gonna happen back then? There is a syringe mark on his body. There is an injection mark on his body. I mean, come on. You're going to say it's a conspiracy theory. No, it's not. There is a syringe mark, man. What the heck was that? Such a humble guy. People saying Makachev is such a humble guy, humble guy, humble guy. How in it could a humble guy and a non-cheater do this? Intravenous, intravenous stuff are prohibited according to USADA rules and regulations from 2016. And how about that? Rules are strict, same for everybody. You can't cheat and win. You can't. It's against the rules. If they prove that he broke the rules, goodbye Khabib, forever from the UFC. And I hope we are going to see a bit stricter control for Dagestani fighters. They're not going to be that protected anymore. Like people believe they are honest and honorable. Man. We are all humans, and that's something people don't understand. I mean, humans can make a mistake. I think if they can't prove he cheated, that they should do immediate rematch. I want immediate rematch too. I think Volk would smash him. Imagine if the fight went into round 6. Volk would have smashed him. Makachev didn't have good cardio compared to Volkanovski. He didn't have good cardio. I believe that injection had something to boost his cardio. Or it had something to rehydrate him quickly or whatever. There is a syringe mark, man. You can't convince me there is no syringe mark. When it's extremely visible, there is a syringe mark. It's visible, man. I mean, it's visible of the airplane. I saw him getting tired fast at the end of round. I think 1 more minute and Volk would win. Of course, Volk would smash him, man. And Volk has always been a humble guy, a dedicated warrior. A dedicated warrior, you know. He has always been a dedicated warrior. No, dedication. Dedication is the true word. Volk is so dedicated. I mean, I was scared to pick Volk, you know why? Because he was cruising 10 pounds not. It kind of scared the shit out of me because he was cruising 10 pounds not, and you know what happens when somebody cruises 10 pounds not. It's always a risky play. That's why I believed him when I heard the accusations from Volk. He is well respected and would never risk tarnishing a name over this. Well, I believed him in the first place, but how are we going to explain the injection mark? Because I can't explain it. If you or somebody else can, I can respect that, but I cannot explain it. I'm telling you that I can't explain it. But I hope somebody else can, because I can't. I'm not that guy. What could that be? Intravenous. Was he having some blood issues? Was it a gene doping? Was it a blood dope? Was it maybe something that has something to do with erythropoietin? EPO? We're about to find out. We need an immediate rematch. That's what I meant. I believe Volkanovski, he is too humble and honest. If he didn't see proof, I don't think he would have come out and said anything. Of course he wouldn't said anything. Of course, of course. Of course he wouldn't say this, he wouldn't have said anything. Volkanovski is just a guy dedicated on his career. That's Volkanovski. He's dedicated on his career. And he's a hard worker. He's a hard working hillbilly, you know. He's just working hard, training every day. And he was robbed. Like, I have a feeling it was an inside job. But I don't know why they chose to rob Volkanovski in the first place. Why? Just why that kind of a drama? Just why? Volk didn't deserve it. He's not that type of a guy. I made a video on did Islam Makhachev really defeat Alexander Volkanovski? I mean, Makhachev was bigger, that's true, but did he really win that fight? If it was a draw, I wouldn't protest. But unanimous decision for Makhachev? Just forget it, man. Just forget it. UD win for Makhachev perfectly makes no sense. At least for me, it makes no sense. I don't see any sense in that decision. Could have gone any other way. Not that. Not like that. It's like, it was too obvious. Too obvious example of a perfectly shaped robbery. And I think that with Makhachev was an inside job. They didn't want Volkanovski to win 2 titles and to become the first ever Australian 2 division champion, like, and the first ever Oceania-born 2 division champion. Like, Adesanya came very close to that, but he failed to execute against Jan Blachowicz. And people gonna say that Volkanovski failed to execute against Islam Makhachev, but that's not true. We all know it's not true. We all know it's just a makeup. It's an unreal story. An unreal but true story. When you see a syringe mark, you know what that means. Something not allowed happened. Question is, what in it was that? What in it was that? What the heck happened? $1 million question at the moment. But one can answer it. Sooner or later, one can answer it. It will be answered in the days to come. Like, I hope USADA is going to investigate and try to prove that Volkanovski was right. And I really believe Volkanovski is right. I really want to believe that Volkanovski is right. I suspect there is a small ring of judges, refs, coaches who are in cahoots. Nah, I also have a reasonable doubt to believe in your theory. And not only me, I mean, many people will start believing in that theory because somebody really, they wanted to cut Zubeira to Kugov and they wanted Makhachev to stay the champ. It looked like an inside job, and then they somehow changed 2 judges who scored in the favor of the Brazilian guy who fought to Kugov just to put the same, like, risky guys in the match Or Makachev and Volkanovski? How on earth does that sound? Like a conspiracy theory, right? But we'll see. We will see how is that gonna end up. I just hope Volkanovski will prove his claims. And I hope we're gonna see a rematch if they can't prove it. Some of these judges are of multiple cards where they judge the same way. Exactly. Exactly. So what the heck is happening? Do these judges just don't understand the rules? Or there is something different? We're about to find out. Sooner or later, we're about to find out. Just to say, alright, guys, thank you so much for watching. I was working whole day today. I'm extremely tired. And tomorrow I need to write an essay about MMA conditioning. I wrote the first third of that essay, but tomorrow I must finish, so I will have to go now. Tatsuro Taira got a big win. Yes, he did. That's awesome. I got to go now. Catch you tomorrow, and I hope we are going to enjoy together, guys. Have a great day, everyone. Goodbye, and you rock. Thank you so much for being in the chat. Tomorrow I will probably go live. I don't know exact time though, but I will go live. I will just find at least half an hour. Tomorrow is a very rocky day for me. So have a great day, everyone. Catch you.